Now, trailers are rooted in a traditional 3-act structure. I mean, we have a download for that, but you want to take them through it rather quickly?
So we've identified certain components that seem to exist in almost every trailer. This doesn't matter if it's a Marvel movie or a tiny independent documentary. Documentary is a little different, but tiny independent fiction film. So here's what those beats are. First of all, promise of the genre. We talked about this before. Each genre has a different thing that the audience is looking for. So, for example, if you're cutting a trailer for comedy, gotta have that comedy. Lots of different kinds of comedy. Central conflict. What's the main conflict in the movie? Who's against who? Is it 40-year-old virgin, the guy that just wants to not be a virgin anymore? That's obviously the central conflict. Also a fantastic title, by the way.
A great poster.
Yes, just a really strong marketing campaign all around. You wanna have in your trailer an escalation of conflict. So you identify, okay, this is the primary conflict, but just when you thought that was gonna get boring, it goes up a notch. There's usually a thematic question. What's at stake? What's this movie actually about? This is extremely important in dramas. We often see in trailer a turning point, a moment when a character learns a new piece of information or somebody betrays them, and it's sort of that gasp moment. A plot tease. This is just, hey, you gotta come see the film if you wanna find out what's gonna happen. Cliffhanger. This is really important. Russell mentioned trailers are 3-act structures, but not in the same way that movies are. They're not, you don't want a trailer. This is actually, you guys probably have seen trailers like this that drive you crazy, where they tell you everything in the movie, what the conflict is and how it resolves. And you say, well, great, no need to buy a ticket.
Yeah, so you stop at 2.5 acts.
Yeah, yes, exactly. You basically want to stop before you answer the question, what's going to happen, and leave the audience wanting so that they have to see the film. Montages are very common in trailers. You see a lot of that accomplishes a lot of storytelling. Even if the montage isn't in the movie, you can create one for the trailer. I love this concept. It's called a button. This is so common. You almost will never see an animation trailer without a button. And a button is after the title card comes on, there's one more little thing.
Here he is! Back to the black skin doggy dog.
So a little joke, a little out.
Why do you think the button is so important?
I think it ends the trailer on a high note, kind of takes you out with the promise of the genre. It's kind of full circle. I've seen horror buttons after the title where you end on one more quick scare, and it just kind of leaves you like with a taste for the movie. So
yeah, it's no different than a really good ending of a film. Mm-hmm. That's your takeaway. That's what you talk about. Mm-hmm. A good button on a trailer, even though they might be a little bit too smart for themselves, and there's been a lot of those for sure. Mm-hmm. But still, it becomes a memorable moment. And again, if you don't have too much time, I've got 2.5 minutes, even though right now I would say even 2.5 minutes now is too long.
Yeah.
And I would say cut the trailer not at 2.5 minutes, but at a much shorter time.